Hi, everybody. Um, I did not plan to go live today. Typically on Mondays, I am on other people's podcasts, as I probably will be after I'm done with this. However, today I was going to get my son from football practice, and I was listening to D.L. Hughley, and he spoke on there about a woman that turned my stomach. I don't understand how this type of thing is able to happen. And so what I'm talking about is D.L. Hughley shed light on a woman named Donna Scott Davenport. Donna Scott Davenport is a judge in Rutherford, Tennessee. Donna Scott Davenport is the only judge for the juvenile courts in whatever county she is in. She has made her own process is what they're calling it. What? She made her own process up. And instead of when children get in trouble, they get cited and released to their parents, she is getting these children arrested. And when I say children, I mean children. These are elementary school kids, 5 and 6 year olds, babies, going and getting locked up for stuff. And then the whole thing is that the things that they're getting locked up for don't even exist. And this woman been on the bench since 2000. It is just repulsive that a woman like her can sit on a bench and send our children to jail. They said that the juvenile court system, their percentages for sending children to school was 5%. In her courtroom, 48%, which I'm sure, like, just like y'all know, I'm sure that majority of those children were Black children. I don't know how it's even being allowed for a woman to do something like this. So I have a video that I want to share. That is just freaking ridiculous. I don't understand how they're letting something like this happen, because it's just, woo, it got me so hot. I'm sure that y'all know that I have boys, and I would just die if this type of thing was happening to my babies. I was telling my son, had this had been y'all, I would have, I'm trying to find the video again. I would learn the law, and I would argue the case myself. I would find a way to fix whatever the heck this woman is doing, because this is just absolutely ridiculous. Let me find this. Where is the video I watched? Oh my gosh, I cannot find it. Okay. Well, since I can't find the video, I cannot find the video. But this woman, this woman somebody needs to handle her. They said they're doing an investigation. I don't even know how it lasted as long as it has lasted. Say she got elected in 2000 and again in 2014. Bing News. Let's take this one. I'm over here literally sweating. Literally sweating from this woman. Okay. This woman. It's a court judge used policies to jail and detain kids without sufficient cause. They had $11 million settlement. They have abolished the policy that she enacted, but she's still on the bench. And I don't understand. She orchestrated a system to arrest and jail children, many of whom were Black, and some who were as young as 8 and 9 years old. D.L. Hughley said 5 and 6. The report published on October 8th said, juvenile court judge Donna Scott Davenport of Rutherford County created a process that involved arresting children, taking them into custody at a detention center, and then filing charges against them. This differed from the norm in Tennessee, where police would typically serve court summons to children and their parents instead of arresting the children and taking them into custody. Of course, she ain't want to talk to nobody because she's an evil little witch. I read another one, another report about her. She was a teacher at a college. They was allowing her to teach other people's kids this vile stuff that she be doing. And she has like some type of, she be on a radio. She a host of a radio show. She had did an article and called herself the mother of the county. Girl, you was the demon. You was a demon. You ain't no dang on mother. I know I'm rough and tough and I'm harsh. No, you are evil. Sending elementary school kids to jail. Sending anybody's child, any age child to jail. Anybody to jail. But since you're a juvenile court judge, sending juveniles to jail for things that aren't even laws. Stuff you making up. Stuff that's just ideas. And then not only is she sending these minors to be locked up, she not even sentencing them. She letting the people of the jail decide when these kids can be released. How that makes sense? How you a whole judge illegally sentencing people and then not even giving an actual time limit of how long they got to be there. You letting the people that run the jail decide how long these babies get to be locked up? I mean, that is ridiculous. How dare you? How dare you use your authority in that way? And how dare anybody else that's in that jurisdiction know of this and not say something? I mean, how could you allow something like this to happen to a baby, 5 and 6 years old? Who would do something like that? And then, so like one of the things that they said that these kids went to jail for was watching a fight and not stopping it. In elementary school, who stops fights? First of all, no one. I didn't even stop fights in high school. I watched them. Okay? So you're about to put me in jail because I watched a fight. That's ridiculous. So you surely shouldn't be doing it to my kid. So somebody needs to do something about this Donna Scott woman. Because that's just the most, ignorant, ridiculous, evil, vindictive, conniving, any other word that you can think of to do to people's children. I hope that she goes to jail for the longest extent that she can for doing some mess like that, illegally jailing some kids. That's cool that they gave them some money, but she needs to be off the bench. Her license needs to be taken, and she needs to go to jail. Because she's over there ruining lives, thousands of lives. Once black kids get into the system, ain't no telling what will happen to them. They're not treated the same. We're not treated the same from jump, even if we squeaky clean. But then say that you've been locked up so young. What happens in those places? They're not caring for those kids. They're not loving on those kids. They treat them kids probably like animals, just like they do in any other place. That is not what you do. That is just the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And I just wanted to come on here and speak about it. Because how do you let a person change the process of how you go about figuring out what to do with juveniles when something happens? 1. 2, how do you let her send these kids to jail for things that don't even exist? I mean, the very first time it happened, somebody should have said something. To let it go on for these years and years, because they said 2016, that is 5 years ago. They jail-in ratio for minors went from 5% to 48%. I mean, that is heartbreaking. And I just couldn't imagine if it was me. I would take all steps necessary to make sure that something happened to that woman, that it was light shed on that woman, because she doesn't deserve the position that she has, and it needs to be stripped, and she needs to go to jail. She needs to pay. She needs to feel the wrath that she has given these children. She needs to feel that wrath upon herself, because how dare her? So her name is Donna Scott Davenport in Rutherford, Tennessee. Horrible judge, illegally jailing 5 and 6-year-old black children. Everybody needs to go and spread the word so that more light can be shed on this woman so that she can get her due justice. You guys have a wonderful evening.